Hi, I'm Matthew Wukasch, the CEO of Interactive Metronome and one of the founders. If I think back on this company and how it started out in the music industry and then was discovered by some really leading neuroscientists, and then how that then was combined with some really kind of cutting edge gamers and game engineers, I realized that we probably were one of the first technologies or software platforms that were widely adopted by the medical industry to treat people with neurological disorders and challenges. If I think again about the historical perspective on that, I like to think we probably are one of the first software companies that became this new pioneer in digital medicine. And I guess in that historical perspective, if you think about this pandemic now and how this is just changing the world, people are no longer going out. People certainly don't want to go to a clinic or a hospital unless they have to. It really pushes and changes the way we need to think about therapeutic interventions. Before the pandemic, you saw things like doctor on demand really getting traction, where again the discovery of not having to wait in a waiting room with sick people and seeing a doctor on the phone was a much preferred method. Insurance companies liked it too because it was cheaper for them. And I think this pandemic is kind of going to push our therapeutic industry along that spectrum more quickly than had we not had this pandemic. And if you think about what we're trying to do in the therapy world, we're trying to change people's brains. You don't do that overnight. You don't do that with a pill necessarily. It takes work. I like to use the analogy of a piano lesson. You go to the piano teacher teaches you how to play piano. But really where the neurological changes take place and where things really happen is when that child goes home and he learns to play the piano with lots of practice, right? So to keep within that analogy and to look at how therapy might be done in the future, we created something called IM360. It is the full spectrum of what Interactive Metronome has to offer. It starts with the in-clinic model, which we've had great success with over the years. This is where you do your assessment and your therapeutic intervention within the confines of your clinic. But to extend outside the walls of the clinic comes the IM Home. And this is where I think the real changes in the brain can take place. In a recent study by Harvard, researchers found that the interactive metronome can improve dramatically the symptoms of kids with ADHD. As a matter of fact, these researchers took fMRI of these kids before and after the intervention and saw big changes in brain activation, literally biological changes in the brain that could be seen, like a rewiring of these children's brains. What was interesting is, though, that this model that they used was really the IM360. There was assessment and there was therapy done in the clinic, but the majority of the work was done in 15 weeks at home. And that was done usually with 3 to 4 times a week of interactive metronome therapy, but only 15 to 20 minutes at a time, which is better for everybody if you think about it, for kids and for moms. But what makes this happen is through this e-clinic. So the researchers and you, the clinician, can reach into the home. You can send the work out there. You can assess whether there's compliance with the training. You can make adjustments if you see fit based on performance. And you can literally communicate with the family through this cloud-based system. If you'd like to learn more about interactive metronome and the IM360, go to our website, interactivemetronome.com. And if you are a clinician who already uses IM Home, or I should say already uses IM, then I think now is the time to adopt the 360 model, to test it out. And if you are thinking about becoming an IM provider, then I think this would be a good model for you to start with, because this will be the way of the future. So thank you for your time.